64 from 2. I thought Parker played really well. Not just shooting it, but he defended, he moves it, he rebounds. He's a good player. He's not a one-dimensional player at all. Now he's got a clip. He can shoot that thing. I thought Boopy played really well. I think he's playing very well. I think our team's made a lot of improvement from Charleston to now. The key will be how much more, because there's a lot left in this tank. We got a lot of different ways to score. We come at you a lot of different directions. I thought we did a poor job of finding Efton tonight, throwing him the ball when he was open and then putting him in position when he wasn't. Guards didn't do a great job reading ball screens tonight. Tried to make the lane line skip when it wasn't there, and we told him to hit the roll. Something we worked on all week. So there's a lot of things we can improve on, and I was pleased with the win. A lot of teams across the country lose these games, and we had I'm bad at math. How many did we win by? Okay, pretty good. Questions?
Steve, I know this is your 4th year. Do you feel like this may be your most complete team now that Efton's here and you got Damari on the shelf?
Could be.
Back? I mean,
I think the second team was really good. We weren't as deep though. This team's deep. I know it hasn't shown that, but I'm just telling you, it's deep. And once we get another guy, and Marcus and Hunter or Parker are really good players for freshmen. They're not scared of the moment. Even Marcus goes right in there and competes. Could be. I hope. I hope people come out and watch them. We got a great slate of home games in the ACC on Saturdays. Should be rocking in here. I was really excited to see the Skip Prosser reading program kids here tonight. I think Alan Brown runs that. I could hear them up there. Their little high-pitched voices up there in the stands. John, I hope. I could see it, but again, where do we go from here? We've done it. We've gotten better, but we got to continue to get better.
Steve, when Parker does all the other things well and he's a shooter and he's confident, is it just kind of like a night like this is bound to happen sooner rather than later? I
think so, Connor. He's such a great shooter that it's going to go in. I think he passes up shots, okay? There's a couple times tonight he one-moored it, and he's so unselfish. I'm like, dude, shoot the ball. But hey, he can drive it too now. You saw it tonight. And those guards were physical and quick. Okay, they play really hard, but he's too good a shooter not to have a game like that here pretty quick, and he had it tonight.
And in kind of the grand scheme of things, coming off of a big win against Florida, a big win against Rutgers, given some of the different type of things that NJIT does, is this kind of a fighting human nature game and fighting a letdown of sorts that you had to fight through? I think that's what people would think, but I'm so against that. Like, I have them on edge, okay? And I am so paranoid about these games. I'm be honest with you, I'm not as uptight for Rutgers and Florida and those games like that. You prepare, you go play, and you swing away. These games are hard because they just play a little unconventional, and we got a big team, and we got our bigs out there guarding guys coming off ball screens, and I thought they did a good job without fouling. I don't know. I guess some teams do. After my entire career, I just have always focused on these games hard because I know you can lose them. I haven't lost any, knock on wood. But I got a whole litany of them written down over the last 10 years before I got here. There's a whole bunch of them. And it happens all over the country. I just don't want to be John Rothstein, what is that called? What do they call that? What's that called? Yeah, what is that when they lose? Brutality. Yeah, I don't want to do that. And we still got some more to go, and so we got to stay focused.
There was a decent portion of the game there that you guys were like losing the rebound game.
Do you
think that was part of the reason why there were those sort of periods of time where you guys would sort of slip back into like a really close game?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They only had 11 points, second chance, I guess, according to this. But, yeah, I was upset with the rebounding at halftime, the offensive rebounding, because we had 2. We had 15 against Rutgers. Come on. And that's effort, you know. And I thought Zack Keller really sparked us in the second half where he just dominated the offensive glass, got extra possessions. Andrew got going. Andrew's fighting a little bit of an injury right now. He needs this week off. But, yeah, I mean, those are extra opportunities, you know, and then not giving up offensive rebounds. And, again, listen, you know, long shots lead to long rebounds. Sometimes those rebounds are not easy to get either. And let's be honest, a couple, 3 of those shots they made, you know, you're thinking to yourself, is this the night? I mean, you know, banked one in from the corner, you know, a couple shots right at the end of the shot clock, one hung up there and went in, you know, and you're thinking, oh, my God, here we go. You know, but that's what I think at least. Yeah, we did much better with that in the second half. Yeah.
What has changed about Zack Keller over the last couple of weeks, and how important was his second half performance in light of Efton being mired in foul trouble?
I think it's called opportunity, you know, and it's like it's a good example in life. You know, when your number gets, when you got the opportunity, you take it, and then you don't ever give it back, right? And there's all kinds of examples of that all over the country in any sport. And when, you know, Matt couldn't play down there in Charleston, your next man up, don't give it back to him. And one thing about Zach's always played really hard. Zack doesn't always play with great confidence. His self-talk a lot of times is just not good. And I always stay positive with him. You know, he's young. He's a sophomore. Boopie's a sophomore. You know, we got some pretty young guys that are getting a lot of major minutes. But he's embraced his role of being a hard-playing defender, rebounder, move the ball, don't turn it over, and if you're wide open for 3, shoot it. And every once in a while, please make a layup around the basket too. You know, it'd be nice. Hey, listen, that's the Zack Keller. I mean, that I thought, you know, when we recruited him, and he had 6 and 6 and pretty good outing in 19 minutes, and he'll continue to get those minutes.
You mentioned Boopie, and there's a couple things about him. One, it seems like he's kind of stuffing the stat sheet and doing a lot of different things.
Yeah.
But then also, like, he broke the full court press by himself.
It's nice. Yeah, it's a lot less stressful. You know, when you're looking at him, pass it. You know, the best way to break it is to put it in your best ball handler's hands and go. And he embraces that. You know, some guys don't. Some guys don't want that ball against pressure. He does. You know, now I did talk to him a little bit tonight. When you're getting that full court pressure, it's hard to put it behind your back. And he's going to get caught. Because once you get it here and then you can't have no control over it right behind your back. I think he's got to be careful with that. And he knows that. He's very coachable and he listens. But here's the thing. He's in attack mode. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you want to press this? All right, we're going to beat it and score. You know, and I thought we did a really good job of that tonight. Somebody threw a lob. Was it Hunter somebody threw it to Andrew. Oh, it was Boopie. I can't. Yeah. You know, that was what it was. Yeah. Yeah, I think he's probably our most improved player since the beginning of the season. And, you know, listen, if you think about our schedule, we scrimmaged Georgetown, we played Alabama, we played at Georgia, we played Utah, we played LSU, we played Florida, we played Georgia. I mean, we've been tested. And now, according to the net, I don't understand that, but, you know, whatever. But we've played, you know, obviously the exhibition game or the charity game and the scrimmage don't count. But the great thing about that is we've been able to figure out our weaknesses and work on them, you know, and we haven't just, you know, beat up on some quad 4 teams. And here's the fallacy of the net. They cap the margin of victory, right? And they tell everybody that. If it's 15 or something? Here's what they don't tell you. They don't cap the efficiencies, okay? So you just keep pounding those teams, and then what happens? Your efficiencies go out the roof. That's the problem with the net, okay? You know, we subscribe to a very high-tech analytic company,
And I got a lot of analytics. But the one thing they do is when the game goes final, they stop the analytics. So basically when the game's not the game anymore, like if it's just you're just fouling or you've subbed in like we did late, they stop the analytics. But that would require watching film. And nobody doing a net's going to watch a film. They're going to go right to a box score and try to figure this thing out, and you can't do it. That's a problem. So that's to me, they're putting out a lot of propaganda about it, the bet net being so good. It's really not. And the quad thing is really flawed.
So it felt like at the end of the game, you guys kind of kept the foot on the gas pedal a little bit. Did that play the
No,
next game?
I tell you why we did. We only had one foul. Okay, and so we had 5-6 fouls to burn. And without them, if we just back up, then what are they going to do? They're going to dribble down in there, and they might throw in a shot, or we just pressed them up just so we could use a couple, 3 fouls and wear them down and sped them up.
But just on the offensive side, it also.
Oh yeah, you got to play. You got to play. And, Kevin Dunn, he came through for us. He's shooting at 100%. Yeah, I hate that. I don't like it. And the honest truth is, if Grant had he not put his in, I wouldn't have put mine in. Okay, I'm just being honest. This is where we're at. I despise it because I really like those kids, but can't do it.
One more thing about Parker, kind of a Rick Barry son-like a game. I mean, he's got some Rick Barry.
Oh, you're throwing some Rick Barry at me. Yeah. Does he shoot underhand free throws?
No, he didn't.
Okay. Rick Barry was tall, too, by the way, and his sons were tall, too, Scooter and them. Yeah, it's what I saw when I went to see him play, right? He had 51, and it wasn't even like a quiet 51, if that's even possible. Yeah, I just looked up. I'm like, oh, my God, he's got 51 points. I mean, he shoots it so easy, The problem is he shoots it so good, I think he's going in every time. Come on, Parker, make it, Yeah, he works at it. I mean, he works really hard at it, but he can do so many other things. I think it was you that interviewed him. Did you do the interview on him? And that's what he talked about, was like, I'm not just a one-dimensional player. Yeah, he works. He takes pride in it, And think about him a year from now when he's got another 10, 15 pounds on him, maybe too. He works hard. And I was glad his parents tried to be here his dad was here tonight, mom was here the other night. I mean, it's a long haul from Oklahoma to let me have their child, but I'm pretty glad they did. First I was glad, not glad that Bray retired, but since, when Mike retired, that opened it up. And Woodley, Matt had a good relationship in there.
One last point on that end of the game. Is there like a level of appreciation?
Yeah.
Like the nod that it gives
Yeah. He's a classy. Grant, he's classy. He's been around. He's a great player, way better player than me. Yeah, I think sometimes that's enough. And you know what? There's a lot of games left to be played. You don't want to get somebody hurt either if the game's out of the question. And that's what happens with when you stop doing the analytics is when the game's not in question anymore. But the problem with the net is everybody can still when they cap the score, but you just pump up your efficiencies. That's wrong. That's taking advantage of the system. All right, boys. Any crazy scores tonight? I didn't see any.
Florida State lost.
right now.
Oh, jeez. I knew Florida State had lost.